Hello, my name is Keshwani. That's Keshwani, Keshwani. I have been solving math problems for GMAT out of this book here, the GMAT Review, the official guide. If you do not have this book, buy one immediately. You will find it at mba.com. The problem that I'm about to solve is the one that you will find on page number 169, problem solving number 126. Let's take a look at it. You have to have the book in front of you, otherwise you will not follow my work. You open the book, turn to page number 169 and read the problem with me. It says, it would take one machine 4 hours to complete a large production order. Alright. I'm going to call, they do not give them name, I'm going to give the name here. So let's say A takes 4 hours to finish some job. Okay. Let's read the next. And I'm told that the machine takes 3 hours. B takes 3 hours. The question simply is, how many hours would it take both machines working simultaneously at their respective constant rates to complete the order? Oh, fine. At their respective constant rate. Oh boy. So what do we do here? Well, I just finished taping. Let me quickly digress for a second. I just finished taping number 125. Go back and watch that clip. And I was going back and forth as to should I explain to the people right away as to how I would solve that problem like that, or should I go through the whole process and tell them at the very end? I decided to do the latter. I did the whole problem, and then at the very end I explained to you that if P over Q is less than 1, if I have a fraction which is less than 1, say for example 3/5, which is less than 1, then of course Q over P would have to be more than 1. So if you look at the answer choices right away, you should be able to realize right away that that is something that has to be true, and you don't have to do anything at all. You'll be done with the problem in 10 seconds. I'm debating the same thing here in this problem. Should I solve the whole problem in the proper way, or should I tell you how I would solve it if I were taking the real exam right now? Let me show you how I would do it, okay? Listen to my logic. See if it makes any sense to you, because that's all it is about. It's about logic and thinking. It's not about how much math you know, as I have said several times before. If you insist on solving every problem the proper way, you will never have enough time. You will not get a decent score. You have to find the shortcuts. Let's take a look at it. Listen to my logic. Look, if I had two machines working 4 hours each, if machine A took 4 hours to finish a job and the machine B took 4 hours to finish a job, then working together, that should take 2 hours. This is the scenario where they're both on the slow side. On the other hand, I forgot which one was 4 and which one was 3. This one was 3 because I still have the black marker there. On the other hand, if A takes 3 hours, on the other hand, let's pretend for a second we are told that machine B takes 3 hours and machine A takes 4 hours. Let's pretend that machine A also took 3 hours. In which case, both of them working together should take, let me put it on this side, hour and a half. Hour and a half, which means that since they are working at a different rate, one is working at 4 hours to finish the job, the other one is taking 3 hours to finish the job, it should take somewhere between hour and a half and 2. It's going to definitely take more than hour and a half. It's going to definitely take less than 2 hours. It's going to take less than 2 hours because 2 hours would have been a scenario where they were both taking 4 hours, but this machine is faster. It will also take more than hour and a half because hour and a half would have been situations where both machines took 3 hours to finish the job. But it's going to be more than hour and a half because this machine is slower. But anyway, the correct answer, whatever it is, has to fall in this range. Now, of course, it took me a while to explain all this thing, but this is something you should see right away when you're solving the problem. Think logically, systematically, calmly. You have to stay calm, you have to stay collected, and you have to stay rational. If you take the exam in a freakish way, like an ordinary average person does, where they're all worked up about it, you will lose the ability to think rationally and calmly. I'm just going to look at the answer choices and see how many I can knock down, alright? That's what the first thing I do. I knock down the impossible answers that are silly, and then I start my work. Let's take a look at it. A, B, C, D, E. A says 7/12. 7/12 is just a little more than half. 6/12 is half. We already agreed that it's somewhere between an hour and a half and 2. That is too small. B says 1.5 hours. It's not going to take 1.5 hours. 1 hour and a half hours is the scenario where both of the machines took 3 hours to finish the job. Then therefore, if this took 3 hours and this took 3 hours, both of them working together, they would have taken an hour and a half to finish the job. It's going to be more than an hour and a half. That's too small. E says 7 hours. That's ridiculous. They're not going to take 7 hours. The most they will take is, in the worst case scenario, if they were both taking 4 hours, they would have taken 2 hours together. 7 hours is too much. 3.5 hours is too much. Therefore, the answer is C. Whatever that is, I forgot. Hour and whatever the hell it was. Hour and 5/7. That's all. That's the answer. I'm done. And I will move on with my life. I will go on to the next problem. That's all it is. Now, if you insist, if you're hell-bent on knowing how to solve this problem in the proper way, I'll explain to you in a second. Let me just quickly check my time, see how much time I have left. I'm already 6.5 minutes into the clip. Let's do it together. Since the first machine is taking 4 hours, since A is taking 4 hours to do the job, in 1 hour, A will do 1/4 of the job. Similarly, since B takes 3 hours to do the job, in 1 hour, B will do 1/3 of the job. But you can see how cumbersome and how nitty-gritty it gets when you insist on solving the problem. This is a waste of time. This is something you should not be doing in this particular problem. This particular problem is damn silly. There is only one answer choice that makes sense. It has to be between an hour and a half and 2 hours. That's the only answer that's between an hour and a half and 2 hours. This is exactly an hour and a half. That's not going to work. This is 3.5 hours. That's too much. 3 hours is the hour and a half and 2 hours was the limit. This is too much. This is too much. This is too little. This is too much still. It has to be more than an hour and a half because one of the machines is slower. Hour and a half would have been situations when both of the machines were taking 3 hours each. This question is silly. I wouldn't waste my time. But since if you insist, so in 1 hour, both of them working together, they will finish this much work. 1/4 plus 1/3 in 1 hour. Let's see how much it is. Find the common denominator. You find 12. 12 goes into 4 3 times, and 3 goes into 4 times. So it's 7/12 in 1 hour. Now listen to me. If I tell you that it takes me in 1 hour, I can do if I tell you that if I can do let's see, how do I explain this thing? This is the amount of work they will do in 1 hour. How long will it take them to finish the entire job? Well, if it takes me 1 hour, to do a fifth of the job, how long will it take me to finish the job? Well, if it's taking me 1 hour to take the fifth of the job, it should take me 5 hours to do the whole job. And how did you find that? By flipping 5/1 by flipping 1/5 to 5/1. If in 1 hour I did half the job, how long will it take me to do the entire job? 2 hours. How did you find it? By flipping it, by taking the reciprocal. That's what you have to do here. Since in 1 hour they're doing this much job, therefore to do the entire job would be I can't write. Entire job will take 12/7, which of course is nothing more than 1 5/7, as you can see. But that was a bloody waste of time. I would not do that. I hope you understood it. I already explained it 2 or 3 times. I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to overkill it. Just 1 second.